Hey, what is up everybody? How are you guys doing? My name's Brian with Bluefoot Homestead. Thank you for checking out this video. I do appreciate it. Hit that subscribe if you like the content of some of the videos that I do. I'd appreciate that as well. But I want to talk about something else kind of regarding one of the last couple of videos that I've done. You know, can you survive a certain situation? So today I want to talk about EMPs. I am not a professional on this subject. I just have a little bit of knowledge from what I've learned, probably like a lot of you guys. But as we know, and a fact about knowledge, if you want a certain type of knowledge, you can go find it. If you want a different kind of knowledge, you can go find that too. You gotta love the internet. But this is where I stand on it, an EMP. Now, just like nuclear bombs, we did a program called Fishbowl, I think it was, or Starfish, Bluefish. They have all these different programs within the program, but if you Google any of those, you will find the information that I'm going to talk about here. So EMPs are very exciting. An EMP is very fantasized. It's easy to think of the highest far end potential of what could happen in an EMP situation. Anybody that watches my channel knows I am not on the EMP train. I'm not an EMP bro. I don't prepare for it. I am not worried about it. And the reason I'm not worried about it is I've looked into these tests that we did on ourselves, tests that we did out in the Atlantic and the ocean. We've detonated them at 30,000 feet, 50, 70, up into space. I don't know the exact numbers on that. It's irrelevant. But we've done a lot of tests specifically for EMPs. Now, one of the biggest detonations that we did reached out to about 1,009 or 1,090 miles to Hawaii. It affected Hawaii. How did it affect Hawaii? Well, some street lights flickered. Some home alarms got activated through the signals, the whatever goes on scientifically in the atmosphere with the atoms and stuff affected alarms on homes, and some of the alarms went off. That's it. That's really it. It did not do a lot. All that stuff fixed itself. Now, one of the tests that they did is they sent the nuke up into space, high altitude, but right before the fact, they launched off a few missiles that were going to go up into orbit when the nuke was going up, and then when they both got close, the nuke would explode, and they wanted to get the readings in the testing off of these basically blank missiles, just with recording hardware, software, microchips, I will add. This was in the 70s. We made microchips. There was a microchip on the first atom bomb that dropped on Hiroshima. I guarantee 30 years later, we had microchips in our missiles, that we had microchips all over the military. They were in use. That's what a lot of people worry about, is all these little tiny microchips and all this high-tech technology that got twisted in my mouth there for a second is going to be fried. Your car is going to be fried. Well, according to statistics and according to the tests that we have done before, that is not going to happen. We had cars with electronics in the 70s, in case you didn't know. None of this got affected. We did fairly focused tests, we did medium range tests, and then we did really wide tests. The wider it is, the less effective it is, and stuff like that. But nothing happened. Even the missiles that they sent up, nothing happened to those missiles. The only time that they got affected is when it went into the blast zone of where the bomb went off with an intensely high amount of radiation. The radiation killed everything in the missiles, and it was just dead. So you literally have to be in the fireball for the EMP to affect really anything. Now, there are going to be small things that get affected. Your car alarm might go off. The biggest thing that they recorded about EMPs is basically anything that is in the air is going to be done for a temporary short amount of time. It's going to be cell phones, your cell phone is not going to work for a while. I mean, it'll have power, your apps will work, but you will not have signal. Radio is going to be dead. It's going to be dead airwaves for a whole 2 minutes maybe. Some of the effects can go up to an hour or 2 hours, I think, for the very sensitive things that go through the air as far as waves, airwaves, maybe TV or something like that. I forget exactly what it was, but a majority of everything that's going through the airwaves is going to be back online in a couple minutes. You know, some things are going to be back in seconds, stuff like that. Now, most people are worried about a car. They want their get-home bag, bug-out bag. They need 15 AR-15s in their back seat just in case an EMP hits. Well, if an EMP hits directly above you and you're driving your car, you're probably going to be fine. Now, there might be an instance to where maybe your headlights will go out. They'll probably start working again. Your radio is going to go out. Your signal is going to go out. XM is going to go out. All that kind of stuff is not going to work temporarily. You might even get a couple fried components within your system that's going to kick a check engine light, and your car might even stall. There's very high probability that a couple minutes later, you're going to be able to fire your car up, drive home. Everything's going to be basically normal. Your sunroof might not work. Little things like that are going to get affected before the main components of your car. Your cell phone is going to continue to work. Everything else is going to continue to work. Now, one thing that could happen, and this has been slightly proven, is the power lines of the power system. Now, our power systems are substations and stuff like that, have gigantic breaker systems, breaker boxes in it. Whenever they get a surge, it pops the breaker. They're encased in oil and stuff. Some of them are thought to be EMP proof, but yeah, I doubt it. Maybe. But there is a breaker system. Now, a lot of people say the energy is going to be so strong that it's going to be able to travel through those, still arc over whether the breaker's popped or not, and continue running through the power system. Now, if that happens, fairly believable the way I've heard it explained. Anything that's going to be plugged into the wall has a chance of frying. It's going to be like a lightning bolt. You get a lightning bolt in close proximity that hits a power line or something like that. It can fry your computers, your TV, your toaster, your coffee maker, your refrigerator, all that kind of stuff that's plugged into the wall. So, I mean, if you have something important, don't keep it plugged in the wall. Run surge protectors. If you want to fall for it, I don't believe it's really anything different than a surge protector. They have EMP proofing surge protectors. You can EMP proof your house, your car, and all these different things. If you want to go ahead and do that, knock yourself out. I'm not going to be on board with that, but to each his own. But definitely anything that's extremely important, like my home power supply, my solar power supply, I do not keep plugged in the wall. Just in case some sort of crazy thing like a CME or EMP happens, maybe that'll be safe. I'm not doing Faraday cages. I'm not doing Faraday boxes. I'm not doing all that kind of stuff. I just don't think it's necessary. I think things are going to be relatively okay a short time after an EMP blast. Now, I think if we were to have an EMP attack on the US, it's going to be more of a focused energy EMP. I don't know much about these. I've heard about them. I've heard that they exist. I don't know if it's a nuclear detonation, if it's something focused into like the beam of a laser. But from what I understand, it's basically made to hit a building, something that's a very specific target to knock the power out there. I think that's more likely to be used than a gigantic 100 kiloton or 100 megaton Tsar Bomba up in our atmosphere or something like that. I just don't think that's the way it's going to be. It's going to be a very focused attack. It's going to affect what they need it to affect, probably military related, and it's not going to affect us at all. So, can you live through an EMP? Absolutely. Is it going to affect you? Maybe just a little bit. It's not going to ruin our lives. I don't think. This is only my opinion. I'm just a dude on YouTube. Take it with what you will. But I don't think it's really going to affect our lives all too much. I don't think it's going to be the end of all by any means, even though I know a lot of people are going to bite my head off for that because they're EMP bros. I get it. Believe what you want to believe. That's perfectly fine with me. But Am I worried about it? No. I have other worries that are a lot more realistic that I'll probably touch on here in upcoming videos, and we'll talk about those then. But that's what I feel on EMPs. I wouldn't worry about it so much. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope we don't have to put anything to the test. So with that, I say have a great day. You guys enjoy it. It's a great weekend out there. Get out and do something outside. Peace.